we're going to get a little bit of sky on these little blisters coming out. So I'm going to do that, like that. Do this, like this. Little concentricness there. Then one here. Remember, sunlight, shade, shadow. So this is the sunlight, this is the shade, and that's the shadow. So there. Now, should we do the dish of the wheel to be silver or chrome? Or should it be all blue? If it were all blue, it would look pretty badass. So, what I want to do is I'm going to do it all blue. So I'm going to take this, and where this blister is, I'm going to cut it out like this. And since this is the horizon and the dish is the wheel is deep dish, it's going to curve up. So that means everything is in reverse. So this horizon line is going to be flipped. So the ground tone is going to be up on the top of the wheel. I'm going to try to fade it off a little bit with my marker. But for the most part, it's going to be solid blue. And I'm going to come back with a pencil and give it some shading to show a little contour. Now I may come back and just grab this marker and do the whole thing solid because it may not look good. Don't want too much contrast on it. We are interpreting what's reality. We don't sketch like reality. Otherwise, we would have a car that would have so many reflections on it that it would you'd lose the form. So it's a little bit of going between both. So now there's going to be a reflection down here, which is probably going to be the top of the wheel arch, things like that. So I'm going to do the same thing on the back. Now, what's funny about the back is on the flip side, remember we're on the back side, I may not do anything to this wheel back here. Again, keeping my concentration all up in the front here because that's closest to our eye. So let me just block this in. Bear with me here. And do. I usually have music on, but since I'm talking through this, that would be a little bit of a problem. So, again, a little reflection down here in the bowl. That's reflecting the hub and everything else coming back in there. Now the glass, the side glass, we're going to do a traditional, like the car sitting out on the Bonneville Salt Flats. I'm going to just give it a little blister here. And just shade everything down here, like so. Then something, whatever's on the other side of the car over here is going to reflect in the glass. So I'm just going to, because the glass is so curved, I'm only going to see a little sliver. If that glass were flat, or if it flattened out as it got down here, like if the glass returned to a hood, you would see a little swell of, let's give it a little swell right there. You'd see a little swell of that. Now, the mirror is going to create a shadow, so I'm going to put the shadow in here like that. And the arm of the mirror is going to like that. Okay, now, not bad, not bad. Okay, that's the basics on that. There's what it looks like on this side. It looks kind of muted. So what I'm going to do is I come back with a marker and hit only the horizon line area. So right here, I fade that. Now, like I said, Vincent Vellum, it used to be a little bit more muted. This paper looks like it absorbs more of the marker than Vincent Vellum. So that's one of the little problems. What I'm probably going to do is get a blue pencil and just come in and shade more. What you can also do is dark blue, put a little dark red or purple on the back, or even black. So here's what I'm going to do. Black marker on top of blue. It's going to deepen the blue. Right there. Let's give it a little right here in the hub, in the wheel, and some in the glass. It's going to help us get a little value contrast. See that? Kind of made it turn. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with the body, but I'm also going to, let's see if I can avoid pastels. I'm going to see if I can do this with pencil. So the car is going to have a hip to match this. It's going to come down, and it's going to be in the corner where that lamp is. So what I do is I come in and hit it hard on this side because we're getting the effects of the muting. Now, if that car had a sharp edge, it would be to a point. And if the fender were slab-sided, it would fade off really quick right here. But what I'm doing is it's a soft radius, like that center line there, that cut line. So I'm shaping my car to look like that cut line, the shape of it rolling over. So let's do this. And if I'm not getting the right color between my marker and my pencil, I can save it by coming back in and telling you it's a pearl coat. No. Just let's give it a little body roll here. Again, I want the car to have these long reflections, these nice long shapes in it. Make the car look sexy. And now, this car may have a razor front, but it's still going to have a little bit of an edge right here. That's a little return on the sheet metal or on the plastic, the bumper area. And I'm still going to get that in here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get my sweep, my trusty rusty sweep. I'm going to come in and just hit that edge with the pencil, like that. Now, this paint is going to fade like this. Now you're almost thinking that this is the front. You almost render it as if it is. And then what you do is you'll flip it over. Now you're going to get a little return on that. See a little edge of that and a little edge of this over here. So, and then just like here, I'm going to fade this. And I'm going to fade the body. Now, flip it over, and we get this beautiful muted tone. What you do is you work with that. You work with that and come back and only hit the deep spots. So I got my pencil. Like that. And you just gradually lay it on a little darker. Now, if I want to get real picky, I was going to do this anyway. I'm going to take this pencil and just kiss this horizon line here. So that orange will match this. Because sometimes you will not get a perfect match on your paint, on your pencil versus your marker. So this looks, the pencil looks a little bit more red than the marker. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to take the same pencil and just come in here and just show some fade. It's going to fade just a little bit. Now I should back off this and start thinking about my time, because you don't want to spend too much time on it. It'll look it, and it'll lose some of the character of the car. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come back here with my sweep, and that line, that rocker line, is going to go straight up from the front one here. Kind of visually forget the tires there, and I'm going to sing this thing right here. Like that. And then come over here and do this to the front on the other side. Using my pen lines as my reference, but you're really going to see. Now inside that bowl on this, you're going to see some orange paint here. Give it a little glare. I'm going to come back and hit this. What I'm going to do, since this is a Pagani, I'm going to sketch in a little emblem. Italian cars always have this emblem. They want you to know what kind of car it is before it runs you over, or before it passes you. So there's the emblem. I'm going to do that in red probably. Let me get a red pencil. My pencil sharpener is gone. I think I know where it is. Let me get a little sharpness here. I'm just going to come back in and show that red emblem with a little bit of chrome surround around it. Just a little indication. Now, I'm going to take my black pencil. I use a shorty sometimes, whatever I got. I've got some long ones in there, but I want to use up. I'm going to hit this line right here. Make it crisp, because that's our focal point. Like that. Now, because the lamp is behind it, I'm going to see that line come through here. So like that. And let's do this like this. Let's get a nice crisp line. I could wing this with my freehand, but it's so close to the focal point of the car, I don't want to mess it up. So we're going to give a little trim here. A little trim here. And then give it a little shadow on this line here. What I'm also going to do is take my orange and give it a little bit of a swell here. Remember that blister's right there. So I'm going to be a little careless on the backside here. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a softening here, right to the center line. So you, the viewer, know that there's a little bit of a whisper peak in there. Again, I'm going to fade it, make it look a little sketchy. Keep your pencil lines with the car. So what I can do is come back if I don't like this, or if it's not bold enough. It's not bold enough, I'll come back in and hit it on the front side like this. Again, starting real light, and come back and give it a little crispness right here. Now I can use my sweep too. That's a great idea. Let me put my sweep on this line so it'll really sing. Oh, I got a break in my sweep. There we go. Little boo-boo. Okay. So that line's singing. Now I'm going to fade it from that line over to the right side of the car. Or the opposite side of the car for you UK people. And get a little going on here. Now, what I normally do, sometimes I'll just jump to the interior or the glass. And if something, like I said, if something comes out at me, I will come back and hit it. So let's just do a little crispy lines, like if there's a reflection breaking up in this car. Get it going like that. Okay, not bad. I'm going to do the same thing with the wheels. It is going to be the blue on the back side. So it's going to have some sky reflection, a reflection of whatever's up here. So I'm just going to come down in here like this and just give it a little fade. Again, this is also the reflection of what's above the wheel right here. Inside the wheel, all kinds of nuts and bolts up there. So again, my wheel's got a blister, so I'm going to not touch that, because that's going to be the sun reflecting on that. So again, we're on the back side of the wheel, so let's just fade this up. Fade it down like this. And then we're going to get some ground reflection coming up. So I use a golden yellow maize color, and I just hit it hard here. This is going to get hit on the mirrors and the body side as well. It's going to be a little difficult because the car is actually a warm color. So it's going to be there, but it won't stick out that much, because if it were a green car, I'd hit this thing with, and we'd see it, that area right there. So since this body roll comes down like this, then this cants out. What I need to do is get a lavender or a purple pencil. Let's do this pink. And we're going to hit the sky tone. And it's going to do the whole car. Again, we're on the back side, so this is going to get nice and muted on the front. I'm going to fade it off. That'll give us a little contrast on the hood, so it looks like shiny paint. And since that windshield is so flat with the car hood, I'm going to view it as all one light source. Okay. Now, since this is going to roll, I'm going to get some lavender down here. I'll get some lavender in the lights too. A little of that. Now, I'm going to get a little lavender on the blisters on the wheels. Again, I'm on the back side, so I'm going to hit it a little hard here. And let's have the center wheel be chrome. Or I've got an idea for that. We're going to make it look like chrome. Just a little hint back here, and a little hint up here on the rear deck. It's going to sing a little bit here, like that, like that. And since that's again, that radius is going to be nice and soft. See how soft that is? I'm going to shade that down. The mirror's going to get a little bit of it. And I'm just going to hit it a little harder here because it's going to be muted on the other side. And that may be all I need. Let's check it out. As soon as I get those shapes. Yeah, that may be all I need to make that thing look like it's picking up sky tone. There's a little void here. I want to get rid of the white.